Hello and good morning. It's me, Sim UK. We're in the Sim Shack. It is Thursday 23rd. And as you can tell from my very electric start, I haven't had a lot of sleep. I tried to stay up till 4 a.m. this morning so that I could start streaming when the embargo ended at 4 a.m. UK time. I made it to about 3 o'clock and then I was just so tired I had to go to sleep. So I've had maybe 4 or 5 hours sleep and I'm not really quite with it yet. Got myself a cup of coffee to try and help things go a little bit more smoothly. Today is Ships at Sea launch. I think it's launching in about 2 hours from now. It's going to launch in early access. If you haven't watched my review or any of my videos, I urge you to go and do that before you buy the game, because I would hate for anyone to think that this is going to be a completely polished and perfectly working game just from the off, because it really isn't. That's not necessarily a bad thing, because the groundwork that's been done and what the features that they've added here are really exciting, and this game has massive potential. But right now it is in early access and we're talking crashing to desktop, games not saving properly, a whole host of bugs, and as they fix and improve and add new things, it may break other stuff. So just be aware of that before you jump into this game. But the good stuff is, I think, outweighs all of the negative stuff, and it makes this game a really exciting proposition. So I'm going to jump into it today. I'm going to kind of speed my way through and start a fishing company from scratch, from nothing. And if there's anything you want to see or any questions you have, then just please ask, and I'll be happy to tell you what I know. Okay, let's just take 2 seconds and listen to that fantastic audio in the background. Got the lovely waves, we've got the seagulls, we've got the creaking of the boats. I'm feeling very excited about this game. Right, so having spent probably about 35-48 hours working on a career in this game, sort of testing everything out, trying to find bugs, reporting back to the devs, etc. They released a massive update last night, around about midnight, I think it was. No, it was a bit earlier than that, which totally breaks any previous game save that you have. So basically, we're all starting from scratch. Now, there is a quote-unquote content creators game save file with loads of money, and you know, you can skip right to the big boats and whatnot. I haven't got that, so I'm going to have to do things proper. But to be fair, I'd rather do things properly anyway. So let's jump into career. I am going to skip the tutorial. The tutorial takes you out on the rowboat, shows you a few little new things that are in the game. They're kind of cool, but it takes about half an hour and I really haven't got time for it. At the moment, the rowboat is a bit of a gimmick. It doesn't really do much. Once you've gone past the tutorial, it's pretty much useless. Now, moving on in time in the future, I think the rowboat could be a fantastic feature in this game, but right now it isn't at all. Good morning, Artful. How are you? Shame those sounds disappear once at sea. Morning. I'm driving, so listening in. Sorry, you're going to have to forgive my half asleep brain this morning. Yes, that more can be done with the audio. I learnt a long time ago that in the world of simulation, audio is probably the most important thing. Even if the graphics are blocky and crap, if the audio is realistic, it just makes you feel like you're there. So there's more could be done with that, absolutely. There's more that could be done with everything in this game, and the devs seem really open and really positive and really excited to make the best game they can. So yeah, you know, give this game 12 months, 18 months, maybe 2 years. Oh, I can't even begin to imagine what this game could be if they develop it long term, and I hope they do. Right, let's jump in. We're going to skip the tutorial, straight into a new career. That should give us 50k in the bank and a little rowboat, which we're not going to use. We can't, well, technically we can sell the rowboat, but we don't get any money for it, so it's pointless. And the game can crash a lot. Very quickly, male or female. And then I think there's like 8 different outfits. So there's fisherman 1, 2, 3, 4. Dock worker 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. That's our options. Let's go with this one today, just change it up. I'll take the hat off because I don't really like the hat. But pretty much, I think every time I reload the game, the hat goes back on. So that's just one example of the early access element of it. I am running, now bearing in mind I've got a 4K monitor and 3 2K monitors. So my graphics card is working its arse off to run all of these pixels. So I've got the game running in medium, and to be honest with you, I think it looks pretty good in medium. I don't think it looks bad at all, and it gets me pretty solid 60 FPS whilst recording, so, and streaming as it is at the moment. So I'm quite happy to leave it there, but you can push the graphics up to ultra, and I think I was probably getting about, not a solid 30 FPS, but, you know, sort of around that area. So, definitely that's something that's going to be worked on over time. Performance improvements, and the lighting is another thing that's going to be dealt with later on, because they want to do it once, not like repeatedly. But it looks okay. It looks pretty good. It's playable in my eyes. Right, there's our little rowboat, our little Romeo over there. We're not going to use him today. We are going to instead streamline our process completely. So we need a hook for fishing, and I like binoculars, so I'm going to buy them. Bosh, that's a couple of grand I've spent already. We don't really need the flashlights, doesn't get dark enough. The ping me thing is going to come in much later when we've got radar and other such equipment in the boats. But excuse me, for the first boat called Flippy, it just doesn't work, and once you sink it down you never get it back. So it's 40 grand for one use. It's just not worth it right now. We don't need any of this stuff. Smolt, that's for when you own your own fish farm, and then this is the fish food to feed your fish in the fish farm. So we don't need anything else from the shop right now. If I just press I, you can see in the inventory I've got a hook and the binoculars. If I close it down and press 2, that's what brings that up. X puts it away. B brings up the binoculars. And that's pretty much that. So we're going to go into the office, we're going to go to the bank, and we're going to take as much money out as we can. 50k over 8 months. We could do that 3 times. That's 198,000 in the bank. We're going to go to services, and we're going to go to 5 free towings to the closest port. That's 3 grand per month. Works out at 35,000 per year. That's well worth it, because you can spend 35 grand on a single return, or 17 grand if you're close to shore. So yeah, for that money, when you're starting out, very much worthwhile investment. I should really get insurance as well, but we can't quite afford it right now. So we're going to come in, and I'm going to skip the first boat, which is this one, the Roster, the cargo boat, and instead I'm going to buy Flippy, who's a fishing boat. Okay, so in order to do long line fishing, you need to buy the long line rig. You can see it pops this little motor on here, so that's now ready to go. Maintenance is dealt with here. Always keep your ship up to 100%, because it doesn't take a lot of damage to sink these things, and once they're sunk, they're gone. It's not like if you get damage down to 0, it starts sinking, and then it sinks, it just gone. As soon as it hits 0%, you've lost your boat. And if you've got insurance, you get some of the money back, but not all the money back. So just bear that in mind. Lots of upgrades. At some point, we're going to have to do the fuel upgrade if we want to get out to where the really big fish are. Excuse me. The throttle and the steering wheel are just cosmetic. The engine, now I've tested this, and I think it gives you greater acceleration, and maybe when you're going through the waves, it helps you stay on course a bit longer, because at the moment we've got no autopilot. That doesn't exist in the game right now. So everything, excuse me, everything is manual. So I think it's like 100 and, no, how much is the engine here? Only 30 grand. Okay. That's not so bad. That used to be a lot more, I think. But I don't think it really does very much. The propeller, on the other hand, doubles your top speed and doesn't use any extra fuel. So that's really useful. Absolutely essential if we want to get out there to the fish and back again. Right, so we got 79,000 left in the bank. I'm going to go all the way down to the fishery, down at the end of the harbour. And we're going to grab all the bits and bobs that we need. I have got the flippy out, haven't I? Yes. I'm going to grab all the bits and bobs that we need to go longline fishing. And we're just going to head straight out there. First thing we're going to do, right from the get-go, longline fishing. Hope for the best. Now, the game is very unstable. Oh my God, is it unstable? So there's a good chance that we'll get... I'm going to buy the big one here, just so I've definitely got enough. Oh God, what did I just buy there? Krill. I didn't want krill. I wanted shrimp. So I'm going cod. Cod fishing. Right, there's money wasted. That's a good start. Right. I'm trying to do this too quickly. Let's get 2,500 lines. How many of these can I afford? Damn it, I can only get 2 now. Fair enough. We'll take 2. That leaves me 24,000. Gamer to Glove, thank you very much for the follow. Thank you, thank you. Welcome, hello. Okay, so I've got the bait, I've got the long line, and I've got a bit of extra bait, which I didn't mean to buy, but never mind. We'll try one of each. Why not? Who knows what happens? We can mix it up a bit. As long as we're catching fish, the money is good. Having said that, this is very important. A couple of things. First thing is skill tree. Now you get 1 skill point to begin with, and if you want to go fishing right from the get-go, you've got to pick the longliner upgrade. So I'm going to acquire that skill. But eco driving is also important. Each level of eco driving is 10%. So this uses 10% less fuel, 20% less fuel, 30% less fuel. If you want to get out to the fish and back, you kind of need to be eco driving 2 or better. Unless you've got the fuel upgrade. But we won't be able to get that until we come back with the fish. But as I was saying, before I interrupted myself, the game is very unstable. So we may get to the point where we pull in a fantastic haul and we're heading back and we're going to make lots of money and they're all gone. And that can happen at any time at the moment. So just be aware of that. It is a bit of a pain in the bum. In addition to that, over here in fishing, if we come down to fish types, we do have a period of time that you can fish. So you can fish for cod between September and April, so we're okay at the moment. But some of these fish you cannot pull in, or I've got a theory that there's a bug in the game where, let's say catfish, you can't fish for catfish this month. So when a catfish comes up on your line, you can't grab it. You just cannot grab it. You'll see this later, hopefully. I think that's what's happening. I'm not 100% sure. But any which way, Milkshake, thank you very much for the follow. Any which way that this is currently happening, if you're trying to sell the fish outside of the season, you won't be able to. So just bear that in mind. Don't go hunting for cod if it's not in cod season, because you're going to get yourself into all sorts of trouble. Right, I've got 24,000 left. I'm thinking maybe... Okay, you can see we've got 2 buckets on there. Should be good enough. Right, let me just double check I've got everything. Skill tree. Did I click this? Longliner. Yes, we can now fish longline. Right, we've got the insurance. Good. We are good to go. So, I'm going to save the game at this moment in time. These are my old game saves. None of these work anymore. So I'm just going to save over the top of all of them because none of them work. And we'll be starting from this point on. Right. If you don't know how to bait up your buckets, you bring up your bait. Now I've just got to check which one is which. The krill is that one, and I want shrimp. So you can see here that oh, actually they've changed it. They've just done an update. So we've got a little bag now with nothing on it, interestingly. So how do I know which one is which? Okay, I don't know which one is which. So what used to happen was a little square would come up, a little placeholder, and it would have the picture of the fish or the bait on it, so at least you knew what it was. It looked terrible, but at least you knew which one was which. But now they've swapped it to a bag with no picture on, so I don't know which one is which. So that's going to be fun. Am I playing on controller or keyboard? I am playing on keyboard and mouse. I find it a lot easier to play on keyboard and mouse. Gamer glove. Gamer 2 glove, sorry. The controller support at the moment is minimal at best and buggy, and it changes all the time. So if you're gonna play with a controller, it's doable, but honestly I find the keyboard and mouse works a bit better. Did the net fishing stuff get fixed yet? In one of my vids I mentioned it being buggy. The net, okay, so I ran into a bug with it wasn't really a bug. They updated the game, a massive patch, but in doing so, they broke everybody's game save files. So I kind of got stuck in a rut where I couldn't get past a certain place. So I haven't been able to test all the boats out yet. I did mention earlier that there is floating around a game save file with unlimited money, so you can buy any boat you want, and I know a lot of the YouTubers are using that. I haven't got that file, and to be honest with you, I kind of feel like that's cheating. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. Doesn't really matter. I haven't got that file, so I'm going to have to do it properly from the beginning. So anyway, back to what we were doing. Bring up your bait, whatever the hell it is, and look at the old bucket and press E. That looks... I don't know if that's right or not. But anyway, they're now baited and they're ready to go. Press X to put it away, E to pick up the bucket, and then you just pop it on the back here. And that's it. That's ready to go. All right.